Glaciers cover approximately 10% of the Earth and can be found on every continent except Australia. They are the carving tools for many of the beautiful mountains and canyons throughout the planet. Glacial ice is the largest reservoir of fresh water on Earth and is a vitally important water source for many plants, animals, and humans around the world. Many glaciers will store water for one season, then release it the next as meltwater, and acts as one of Earth's great self-regulators. Glacial mass is affected by long-term climate changes and considered the most sensitive indicator of climate change. And recently, many glaciers around the planet are melting at an alarming rate. From 1850 to 1940, the climate of the Earth has increased substantially, and it is what initially started the retreat of the glaciers. This has affected the irrigation and domestic use of fresh water around the world, along with the increased levels of our oceans. From 1950 to 1980, the retreat of glaciers came to a halt and even was reversed in some parts of the world. But after 1980, warming of the Earth has increased at such an alarming rate, it has caused many glaciers to disappear altogether and threatens a great number of existing glaciers today. There has been more glacier melting in the last 200 years than there has been in the last 10,000 years. And in the last 10 years, there has been more glacier melt than in all of human history. Like the canary in the coal mine, the accelerated melting is visible evidence that the Earth is getting hotter. The main problem lies in the fact that glaciers are a precious resource in many parts of the world. About 750 million of the poorest people on Earth rely on the Himalayan glaciers alone for their fresh water, which could be gone by the end of the century. In northern India, rivers that millions of people depend on will soon become seasonal, making life much harder in a part of the world that is already challenged by limited resources. Latin America stands to lose all of their intertropical glaciers in the next 15 years, affecting availability and hydropower generation in Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, and Ecuador. The most vulnerable glaciers in the lower mountain ranges, such as the Alps and Pyrenees of Europe, Africa, parts of the Andes in South and Central America, and the Rockies of North America, could melt completely by the year 2050. The Corricalis Glacier in the Peruvian Andes is melting the same amount in 1 week that it used to melt in one entire year. The glacier ice on Mount Kilimanjaro has melted by 80% and is predicted to be completely gone within 20 years, preventing the 2 million people who depend on that fresh water from accessing it. The Alaskan glaciers are melting at a current rate of 30 to 50 feet per year, causing Alaska to rise out of the ocean. With expanding lands and less fresh water, the forest and rivers that Alaska depends on are becoming threatened. It's estimated that 22 cubic miles of the global glacier ice is being lost every year, with that number increasing. 95% of all glacier ice around the world is melting at an accelerated pace. Life cannot be sustained without water. The fact that the rapid acceleration of these melting glaciers is happening at an extremely unnatural rate has led the majority of scientists around the world to conclude that the addiction to fossil fuels is a direct consequence. Carbon dioxide is a naturally occurring gas that exists in the Earth's atmosphere and is emitted by everything from volcanoes to the air that comes out of your lungs as you breathe. But today, this greenhouse gas is being emitted much faster than the planet can handle. So much so that the atmosphere is acting as an insulator by absorbing the infrared and near-infrared light, trapping the heat of the sun. It's because of this extra heat that our planet is heating up, melting the glaciers. 11,657,658 gallons of oil is being consumed each and every day on this earth. That's 123,361.46 tons of carbon emissions on a daily basis from oil alone. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the global elite are heating the planet on purpose to increase glacial melting so they can reap the benefits of the hard metals that lay underneath them, while non-directly killing over 1 billion people to counteract the overpopulation of our planet. We have the technology today that could sever the oil bloodline which continues to destroy the earth. But that's not going to happen, because the people who own the oil are the richest people on Earth. They are the global elite. They decide everything. This is why the world runs on oil. This is why, unless you picked it from nature, everything you consume in one way or another is consumed by you because of oil. The glaciers melting are the canary in the coal mine. Earth is the coal mine, and the canary is barely clinging to life. I have a daughter, and I think about the world she's growing up in and the challenges she will soon face. I think about the challenges I will face when I'm 80 years old living on a broken planet. All of us are soon to face the most devastating times in history, and there is no turning back. The fuse has already been lit. So how do we slow down time?